My boyfriend hasn't come home since Friday, it's now Sunday. Trigger warning. Getting drugged, robbed, beaten up. My 24F boyfriend, 27M, left for a festival around 12 o'clock on Friday. He told me he loved me and that he'd see me that night since he had to work on Saturday, and then he'd go back to the festival on Sunday morning. I told him to have fun, be safe, and that I'd see him that night. I went to work like normal and didn't hear anything from him all day, which didn't bother me since he's at a festival, probably had bad service and didn't want to spoil his fun by being on his phone. I got home after work around 12 a.m. and still hadn't heard anything. I was hungry and decided to have some food delivered, so I figured I'd call him and ask if he wanted something for when he got home. It went straight to voicemail twice. I decided to check his location to see if maybe he was still stuck in the parking lot and therefore would have horrible service as well, which was the case. Didn't think much more of it, ordered my food, ate, and went to bed. Decided to check his location once more and saw the bus was just pulling out of the parking area and on the road. When I woke up, he wasn't next to me. I immediately checked my phone but didn't have any missed messages or calls. This started to slightly worry me, so I looked at his location again and it showed him in a hotel somewhere. I figured he must have missed the last train home and that I'd see him soon. I went on about my day, deep cleaning the house, doing some laundry, etc., and didn't think about it anymore. Then around 4 p.m. I received a call from his boss asking if I knew where he was since he didn't show up for his shift at 3 p.m. and they couldn't reach him. I hadn't even noticed the time. I called, FaceTimed, texted and messaged him, but got no response. Then around 5 p.m. I got one lousy message that he had hurt his ankle and lost his wallet. I asked what happened, if he was okay, why he didn't come home, why he didn't let me know, he was going to a hotel, why he was ignoring his boss and I, when he was coming home and who he was with. None of our friends went to the festival, he went alone. It's now Sunday and he still hasn't responded nor come home. He turned his location settings off yesterday around the same time he sent that text to me. I have this really bad feeling like something is off. This is very out of character for him. We've been together for 6 years and he's never done anything remotely like this. I'm worried, I'm angry, and I feel like he's hiding something. I know he didn't plan on going to a hotel, he didn't bring a change of clothes or packed a bag. He just went for a day, planning to come back that night. Update. Let me start off with thanking each and every one of you for your concern, kind words, and advice. I didn't expect this to get as big as it did. I'm a long-time lurker on this sub on my main profile and it's not often I see this kind of response. When I posted yesterday morning I was beside myself with worry, and I had already taken quite a few steps to find him, which included calling friends and family. Many people told me I was probably overreacting and he was just having fun. But it didn't sit right with me, so when coming to Reddit I was just hoping for a few people telling me I hadn't lost my mind. When calling the hotel, they initially informed me that they couldn't give any information about guests due to the privacy law in my country. The police weren't of any help either, telling me that I should contact them again if he hadn't come home by Tuesday morning. I spoke to the management of the festival, who could confirm he scanned his ticket at the entrance on Friday. However, they work with wristbands, so there was no way for them to check if my boyfriend also came on Saturday and Sunday. With the hotel, the festival, and the police being quite dismissive, I turned to Reddit. I didn't include all these details in my original post, since I didn't want the post to get too long and I figured I could just add information by responding to all of you. That worked fine until we got to 100 plus reactions, and then 1,000 plus and even 5,000 plus, which is absolutely crazy to me. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. Your responses really helped me through this and confirmed that the chance of something bad having happened was way bigger than him just having fun. After calling the hotel again and pleading with the manager of the hotel for quite a while, they were able to inform me that there hadn't been a reservation under his name. I sent his picture to the hotel and they looked at the security footage around the time his phone showed up there. Though they couldn't inform us of the results, they did promise to keep the footage on file in case the police would need it later on. I contacted the police again with this information, and while they were still hesitant to investigate further, they did give the hotel a call to request the footage of that Friday night. A little while later, they called me back saying that my boyfriend hadn't been on any of the cameras all weekend, therefore they could rule out he had even been there at all. Because his phone clearly showed his location and I had screenshots to prove it, the police realized that something indeed wasn't right and promised me they'd look into it straight away. Me and one of our mutual friends decided to start driving towards the festival site, which was about a 4-hour drive. We knew we wouldn't be able to get in since we didn't have tickets, and even if we did there'd be no way to find him in a crowd of over 65,000 people, but at least we'd be close by if we received any news and we could ask around to see if anyone recognized his picture. I received another call from the police. My boyfriend had been in the hospital since Saturday morning. He had been found in the ditches of the parking lot of the festival around 3 a.m., together with a few other people who had also been to the festival. All of them were severely beaten up and without any of their belongings. The hospital found traces of the same drug in each of their systems, which leads the police to suspect they have been preyed upon and drugged by groups of people searching for easy targets, people who were alone. Apparently, it usually takes 1 to 2 days to identify an unconscious person without any form of ID on them, which is why I didn't hear anything earlier. The police are investigating further and will let us know when they find who's responsible. We already confirmed that we want to press charges. My boyfriend is okay now, and he's expected to make a smooth recovery. He broke his collarbone and his wrist, is covered in bruises and cuts, and has a slight concussion. He came very late Sunday night. Unfortunately, or luckily, he doesn't have any memories of the incident or the events that happened right before. I'm feeling so relieved and happy that we found him and he's safe, yet so incredibly angry at the people who did this to him and the others that had been found. You always hear horror stories about things like this, but you never expect it can happen to you. Comments by OP. Hi there, thanks for being so thorough in voicing your concern with the truthfulness of these events. I'm not here trying to prove anything to anyone, but I expect more people will have questions like yours. 1. Where I live, there's no point in calling hospitals. I'm listed as his emergency contact, so if they know he's there, they'll let me know. If they don't know the identity of someone in the hospital, they can't give any information due to the privacy laws and everything has to go through the police. 2. Not sure how they got his passcode, could have hacked the phone or could have seen him typing it in. 3. The hospital would have definitely reported this to the police immediately. But it's possible I called the police already before they received the notification from the hospital. It's also possible I called the jurisdiction that wasn't yet aware of the incident, since every city has their own police station. 4. My boyfriend wasn't in a coma, but they kept him sedated due to his injuries. He came by on Sunday night, but by that point, we'd luckily already found him. 5. Simply having footage of the hotel isn't enough to identify a group of people. They can piece together a timeline based on our stories, but that's not a completed investigation. I may have worded it wrong though, English isn't my first language. 6. Your guess on that is as good as mine. 7. In my country, things like this mostly get swept under the rug. Unless an actual death occurred, no articles will be published. There are of course stories here and there that circulate online, of people seeing drinks getting spiked and people letting others know there's thefts going on. Hope this answers some of your questions, let me know if you have any more. That's how I feel too. Don't get me wrong, I'm so happy we found him and he's somewhat okay. But I do catch myself wondering if it wouldn't have been better if he had simply cheated, like many Redditors also mentioned. I hate seeing him in so much pain, I'd rather be in pain myself.